Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Salukimania. I'm SIU writer Todd Hefferman, and I'm with the Southern Illinois sports editor Les Winkeler. And we're just getting ready to go up to the Valley Tournament this weekend for the men's basketball tournament at the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. The Salukis are the 9 seed and will play Indiana State Thursday night at 6 p.m. In the first round, the play-in round, so to speak, of the tournament. It means they have to win 4 games to win the tournament, where everybody else has to win 3. And historically, that has been a very bad omen because only one team in the history of the tournament has won 2 games coming out of the play-in round under its current format. But they did split with Indiana State. They each won at home. Indiana State hit 12 of 12 three-pointers and won by 7, I think, in the second meeting. So it was much closer than the first meeting, where SIU just really ran over them the first meeting. But it's about guard play for this game. It's just Dwayne Lathan got to the rim both games, but he was able to finish in the second one. You know, they have to find a way to keep him out of the lane, I think.
The good news is that Indiana State is probably the best draw that the Salukis could have gotten. Obviously, best draw would be Bradley, but Bradley was 10th, right. So the Salukis couldn't play them. But of the other 2 teams, Indiana State is the best matchup for SIU. This is a game that if the Salukis play well and can achieve some consistency, which, as we all know by this point of the year, is a big if, but this is a team that can win. The bad news is the winner plays Wichita State Friday at noon. That's a tall order for the upper echelon teams in the conference, and it's probably not realistic to expect either SIU or Indiana State, whoever comes out of the play-in game, to beat Wichita State. So containing Jake Odom and Latham are a huge must for the Salukis in this game. If they can contain those 2 guys, they have an opportunity to win a game.
And I'm really curious to see how the newcomers will respond in that type of environment. It's a new start. You know, you're playing a winnable game. You know, and it's just Dan Teal's coming back home. He's from the St. Louis area, and you know they played great against Illinois State in their first round last season.
Now it's it will be interesting to see how the young kids respond to that. The team has relied, as the season has worn on, it seems like Chris has relied more and more on the newcomers. So well, first of all, the starting lineup is going to be interesting to see who actually gets the start. So it'll be interesting to see how the game unfolds.
Now they won last year and then took Missouri State right to the brink and ended up losing on a couple of great shots by Kyle Weems. Weems is back, but he has, I think, 4 other new starters with him. Bradley's playing Drake in the other game Thursday night. That game starts at 8:30. And all these games are on the NBC TV network. They're on like Fox Sports Midwest, Fox Sports Kansas City, Comcast Sportsnet Chicago. So you should be able to catch them on TV if you're not going to St. Louis for the game. But it's a different tournament. It's kind of intriguing because they've never had 2 ranked teams before. Wichita's 14th in the country. Creighton just came in at number 25. Creighton and Wichita really don't have to worry about losing, to make the tournament. I think they're still locks to make the NCAA tournament. But everybody in between them, from 3rd through 8th, tied for 8 and 9, and then 8th was 8 and 10. Indiana State was 8 and 10. It's the closest race in history of the Valley. Do you think Wichita can win the tournament?
I think it's a 2-horse race. I mean, realistically, you have to think that it's going to be Wichita State and Creighton in the finals. And I just think Wichita State is just a little bit deeper, a little bit more complete. I think they're quicker overall than Creighton. So I'm looking for Wichita State to win it. But I think if it comes to Wichita State Creighton finale, I think the Valley will have not at least. I think they'll have 2 teams in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and I think they get 3 if someone else somehow beats one of them and wins the tournament.
If Wichita State would get upset, if Creighton gets upset, maybe that might throw a wrench into it. But yeah, if Wichita State's in, that's a possibility.
And that might be the Valley told us today they expect the lower bowl to be sold out for the semifinals as of right now. They've sold so many tickets. They've sold almost 7,000 all-session tickets to the different schools, and they're their local sales as far as tickets that are single session are up almost 100% from last year. So it's good to see some real interest in the tournament.
And it's already been a good atmosphere anyway. So that just means it's getting better. I mean, it was already good. It's just getting a little better.
And there'll be Creighton fans have bought, I think, 5,000 all-session tickets, so you know they're going to be. Wichita always travels well, so it really should be a great environment. Now we turn our attention to SIU is almost assured of losing at some point in the tournament. I just don't see them beating either one of those two teams, Wichita or, I don't see if they will beat Indiana State either, but I think that's a great winnable game. But they will almost certainly get to loss 23, which will end their season, and then we'll move forward. Chris Lowery is in the 5th year of a 7-year contract. They're talking about possibly buying him out just because he's had such a rough season. What do you think is going to happen after the season's over?
I think they will pull the trigger this year. Last year there was still 3 years left on the contract. That's an awful lot of money. Still 1.5 that the buyout would entail. But the continued slide in attendance this year, I think they average like 3,600.
32.99.
32.99.
Second lowest in history.
Okay. All right, and then from what I've been able to what I've been able to glean, that athletic donations are still on a downward cycle, and I just don't think the athletic department can continue to ride this avalanche downhill.
Mm-hmm.
He's had 4 years to turn things around, and although with the freshmen that he brought in this year, the future does look a little bit brighter than it has in the last couple of years. I just don't know that the math is in his favor this year. I think the university is probably going to have to make a move. So if it happens, Mario's already indicated that any decision he makes will be made quickly. So I'm thinking by midweek next week we will know whether or not Chris Lowery is back for another year, or if the Salukis are about to embark on a search for a new coach.
Yeah, and the math is, you mentioned that it's different this year. The economic climate of the university is a little bit different too. They considered buying him out last year, according to the people that we talked to, and one of the reasons was the university, SIU, was still facing two unions that were going to go on strike, furloughs and layoffs, and the economic climate was much different than it is now. And it's another year. It's $1.5 million instead of 2.25. It's a little more appealing that way economically. And this, we would love to say that this is about college athletics and bringing up young men, and I think it is. But this program is also a business for the SIU. It's a business in public relations. It's a business in attendance, and it's a business numbers-wise.
Yeah, ultimately, the decision is not going to be. I don't think the decision is going to be a basketball decision, because I think if it was solely a basketball decision, it probably would have been done last year. This is going to be made on dollars and cents and numbers, and if the numbers come up wrong for Chris, I think this is it for him. So it's a numbers thing. It's like you said, it's a business. It's nothing more than that.
Mm. Well, we will see what happens. They play Thursday night at 6 o'clock. We will be holding the live blog on our website, thesouthern.com, and hope to see you there. Thanks for joining us.